Bears fans, welcome to the Chicago Sports Podcast. Brian Urlacher has some glaring words to say about our new coach and new quarterback. And also, one member of the national media is singing high praises for Caleb Williams. We're going to talk about all of that and a little more next on the Chicago Sports Podcast.
Let's go. Yo. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast. And that's facts.
What up, everyone? Welcome to the Chicago Sports Podcast. How you guys doing tonight? I'm your host, D Nice, and I got my man Eric with us tonight. I hope everybody's well. What's up, Eric? How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. Just getting excited, right? Like everybody else is getting excited. Every day we inch closer, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Every day is a step closer to training camp and a step closer to the regular season. It's a lot to be excited about. And speaking of excitement, we have two more people that's that had some high praises. You know that they're singing high praises about our quarterback and head coach, and that's one Brian Urlacher, and the other is Jeff Chadiha from NFL.com. He's an NFL.com analyst, and Bears fans, we all remember last year. We all remember how we felt this time last year, and I'm only bringing this up because to get a better understanding of the future, we have to sometimes look back at the past. Now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, there was a lot of us that had some high praises uh, for the season statistically that Caleb may have, could have, or whatever, and things didn't turn out that way. So we're back around, and the same song is playing again. Should we continue to sing or should we just listen? We have a Hall of Famer that's singing, you know, in a very high pitched voice about the new coaching staff and the quarterback, and that's Brian Urlacher. Now, Brian, he's been a part of some situations where quarterback, a great quarterback was not really available to him. We've had guys, in that Urlacher era that were decent, but no one that could honestly take us to the top, from a Super Bowl standpoint or even a consistent playoff standpoint. Now, and let alone not statistically either. Jay Cutler was the best at that when it came down to statistics. And Josh McCown had a little moment in there where he kind of blew up the spot. But ever since Eric Kramer, we've been kind of desolate in that department. What's going on, my man? You all right,
Yeah,
Eric?
yeah. No, it just keeps on reloading. So hopefully we
I
don't
got you.
have to deal with too many technical difficulties. But I've been hearing everything you're saying, and you're right, man. Should we be excited? I mean, that's great when you have a Hall of Famer, former All Pro player, former legend,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like Brian Urlacher talking good about what's going to happen. The future looks bright. He's liking what he sees. He's liking our new quarterback. And you're right, man. How many years have we suffered the curse of just not having that guy back there? Not having that guy that could have a 4,000 yard season, or a guy that's just how do you say, proficient back there,
Yeah,
right? I mean, There's
Yeah,
no consistency. No consistency, right?
hmm absolutely. Yeah, we've been struggling in that department, and honestly, I can't really say that the Bears have taken that position very seriously on up until now. And I'm just being, I'm just saying my piece. But Urlacher has been critical of quarterbacks, of past quarterbacks, not only the quarterbacks that he's played with, but guys that have been drafted to the Bears since he's retired. So being that he's a Hall of Fame player and a former Bear, we can take some stock in how he feels about certain quarterbacks. He had some glaring things to say about the past quarterback, and that's Justin Fields. And
Yeah, he didn't like him too much, huh? He
he
did not
turned out
really
to
like
be
him.
he turned out to be absolutely right. So he's all in on Caleb, especially due to the fact that we've fixed our coaching issue.
Yeah, everybody's
Adding
excited
Ben.
about Ben Johnson. Yeah, Ben Johnson looks like he's the right fit for now, right? But I mean, how
Yes.
far do we go with that, right? I mean, we've been here before as Bears fans. Every year we put, all our hopes in one basket, and then we stumble along the way, right? And
Ooh.
it doesn't ever really. I mean, we dream big and then we fall short time and time again, right?
Yeah, we end up face down. But
It's
but
it's a new
I think it's different. I
yeah,
think
it's a new feeling this time, right? It
yeah.
feels a little bit different, right? Exactly. It feels different. It feels like the coaching is going to be what we're looking for, right? And in an offensive league, which is what the NFL is now. Like these are teams that score points, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
they score points. That's what it is, and that's the guy you want with the weapons we got, right? Somebody that's going to be able to put points on the board. That's what we want to see. We want to see points on the board, right? The Bears haven't ever really been a high scoring team. We've been a defensive team and run the ball down your throat and stall the clock out, and hopefully we're ahead by the time the game's over. But I'm ready to see the explosive Bears, and I'm hoping that but we take Brian Urlacher's knowledge that he's got, from
Mm-hmm.
having seen the game on so many levels, and it gives us another egg to throw in that basket, right?
Yeah. I mean, listen, we look back to last year, Caleb's play of last year, and we all know what happened during that time with coaching. And like you said, we want someone to solidify this quarterback position because like I said before, it's been, for lack of a better term, it's been very underwhelming, and no one has been able to consistently hold a spot there, just plant their flag there. And this is what we want. Points are going to come. However, they come through the run, through the pass, through special teams, defense, points can come. But what we want is that stability at the quarterback position, you know, and of course,
That
we want good
consistency,
players.
right? That consistency that we've been dying for.
Yeah, we've been dying for it because, like I said, we've had flashes in the pan. We've had guys that have sparks, every now and then, but after that, it fizzled out, never to be seen again. So I'm with, I'm all in on Caleb. Based off his numbers, and like you said, we have to take Brian's word for it because he understands how it goes. He has Hall of Fame credentials, something that you and I, no one else that what I'm saying, that our fans have. You know, former player, and there's a lot of stock to take into that. But let's go into a guy from the national media, Jeff Chahida. I hope I said his name correct. Now he the way he feels about Caleb, is a little surprising because usually these national media guys, especially when you talk about the Bears, they're always
Yeah, they
down.
like to trash us, right?
Yeah, they find a spot to kick us in and they proceed to kick. But he's saying that Caleb can possibly, in his mind, throw for over 4,500 yards and over 35 touchdowns.
I mean, the weapons are there. The line is looking different. The offensive minded coach. I mean, it
Hmm.
looks like you got the perfect storm brewing here, right? Like everything's lining up. Can we just gotta have that follow through, right? That
Yeah.
consistency that we've been screaming for, right? That I mean, I saw flashes last year. I know everybody did. Like this kid could be somebody, man. And you want somebody that's going to make plays with their arm, and it's going to be consistent. I mean, I like his turnover ratio.
Hmm.
Touchdown turnover ratio was great. I mean, you see these other rookie quarterbacks from these other teams go out and Bo Nix, right, with the Denver Broncos. Come on. I
Yeah.
mean, Jaden Daniels. These guys had superior coaching, right? Superior coaching. And we
Yep.
were lacking in that department, right? Probably one of the worst coaches we have ever had. Uh, not, I mean, you get fired mid-season. That says a lot about what you're doing, right? That says a
Especially
lot about
there.
what you're doing wrong too. So
Yeah.
these other guys are very successful. Jaden Daniels, rookie of the year, man. Bo Nix had great games. That uh, relationship he developed with Cortland Sutton, and you know, man, Jaden with his wide receivers. We need that connection here for. We're hoping that DJ and these other guys can get it going with Caleb, and they have that big 1-2 punch, right?
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought up the turnover ratio. Do you believe that it's some guys out there that are begging for Caleb to take more chances and throw more interceptions?
Oh man, I'm not one of those guys. I'm not one of those guys.
I
Uh,
mean, that's
I
just
mean, if
something.
it's a 50-50 ball, you throw it, right? If it's if
Yeah,
it's if it's man-to-man coverage and it's a 50-50 ball, then yeah, you throw it. You take that chance, right? But I mean, he did have some plays where you seen him squeeze it in through tight coverage, right?
absolutely.
And the accuracy is there from this guy even on the move. I like it, right? The scramble and the extending plays with his legs, but not looking to take the ball down the field with his legs, but looking to make these plays with his arms. I love that about this guy. I really
Absolutely.
do.
And do you know if that interception number went up to 12 or 14, do you know that this Chicago would turn upside down and automatically view this guy as a bust if he threw 20 touchdowns and 12 to 14 interceptions?
I mean, at this stage in the game, I mean, we're really. I'm trying to think of the right word, but I mean, like we've been burned too many times, right? Like and we get our hopes up. And we have these guys that, every year we're coming in off the off season. We think this is going to be the guy. This is going to be the guy. And yeah, all it takes is a couple mistakes here and there, and we'll turn on them in a heartbeat. We'll turn on. But
Man,
the other side of that coin is, if you are that guy, this city will love you. It
yeah,
will love you to death. Like these are diehard fans, and you go from instant stardom, right? From rookie to superstar. And that's the position he's in. He can go from rookie to superstar, and a city that will love him and that will be die hard for him if he can be consistent. And we this is one of the best franchise, one of the oldest franchises in the game,
yep,
and our loyalty it really hasn't ever been earned, right? I mean, we've given it to guys for no reason, and we've getting burned in the past. But if this guy could earn it, I mean, I could see him being a Bears legend, right? If he could stay consistent, stay healthy, and lead this team to some kind of postseason, he'll be instant success. And he already is kind of an instant superstar in the city of Chicago, right? I mean, he's got his little bear claw thing, got kids doing that everywhere. They're
yeah,
all out there like this, and I love it. I love it for the team. I love the attitude that he has. I love that he's showing up all over the city, right? To different events, concerts, sporting events, like, and I'm sure he's feeling the love because he didn't have a horrible season,
not
right?
at all.
But he
Not
had a
at all.
horrible people running the show for him. So I definitely think it's good to be optimistic this year with Ben Johnson and with the revamped offensive line, with you know the wide receiver weapons he has. I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the guy had a very, he had a rookie season. Not very typical rookie season, but people were expecting him to have the C.J. Stroud and the Jaden Daniels rookie season. Figuring that that would lead to more wins. When he played great football, we were in shootouts every week, most of the time. Okay, we had 5 wins. I guess everybody would have been okay with the shootouts, but again, if this guy would have went out there and just start throwing balls all over the place, throwing it to the other team, the national media, the Chicago, the local media would say, "Oh, the Bears done it again. The Bears have ruined another quarterback." Because remember, Chicago is the place. The Bears is the place where quarterbacks go to die.
Where careers go to die, right? Like at
So
any
they say,
position, at
but
any position.
I'm not really buying it. Because we've had too many great players in this historic franchise for anyone to say that. Now, have we had the guy, the guy with the glaring numbers as a quarterback? Everybody wants to see 4,000 yards. At one point it was 3,000 yards where everyone was excited about here in Chicago, but everybody wants to see 4,000 yards. Everyone wants to see 30 touchdowns, but I want to see more wins than losses. Now, for me, Caleb could throw for 3,500 yards like as he did last year and throw a couple of more touchdowns. And if that equals to us getting 11 or 12 wins, I'm cool.
Yeah, playoffs, right? That's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
Playoffs are a bust. That's kind of where we're at, right? Like, there's no reason
But
why
what
we
I
shouldn't have
don't
been a
what
playoff
I
team.
right, what I don't want him to do is let this stuff get to his head. And I don't think it will. All these numbers and these prognostications of how he should play or he should be. I just want him to keep his head in the game and be consistently good week after week and play. You know what I'm saying? Good
I mean, I
football.
think he showed good character last year. Like he did. Like, man, he played with a chip on his shoulder a little bit.
Yeah.
He knew the expectations were high. I mean, a lot of these games didn't really come down to like him having to do it all. I mean, but when
Mm-hmm.
it was when the game was on the line and it was in his lap, he made plays and he
He
put his
plays.
team in a position to win the game. Now, did the defense let him down? Did special teams let him down? Definitely, definitely. I mean, there was a lot of one score games that could have went either way, right? And
Mm-hmm.
bad coaching calls. A lot of those games are bad coaching calls, right? Bad decisions
Yep.
made at the end of the game. Like you're letting time run out and you're not calling plays. And but every time the ball was in his hands and he needed to take his team down the field, he was successful at that. He was.
Absolutely.
He put his team in a position to win a lot of games against really good teams. And when I say really good teams, I'm basically talking about teams that are in his division. I mean,
True.
those are the most competitive games, your divisional
Yeah.
games, and we're in like the toughest division, and he's going downfield, and all these games, these are one score games that
Yeah.
coming down to the last minute, last 2 minutes of the game, and he's doing everything right. And I think with the right coaching, and this year we flip that around instead of taking that L, we get that W,
Yeah.
right?
And he could have easily thrown for 4,000 yards last year. He just had an extremely slow start. Those first couple games, man, was kind of brutal, especially game 1 and 2. They were, he looked just like what he was, a rookie. You know,
Yeah.
and the play callers look like rookies too. Everybody on that sideline, they all
I
act like
mean,
they
when you
all
look
act
at
like
Jaden
it's the first.
Daniels, his rookie, you know, did he really do it with his arm? I don't think so. I think a lot of that came from him using his legs a lot, man. And he, don't get me wrong. I mean, he did make some good throws, and man, I appreciate everything he did for my fantasy football team. Right. But
Yeah,
like, man, I seen him take off more times than not, and have to do it with his legs. And then Caleb is that guy. He wants to do it with his arms, and you got to respect that from
you
some
gotta
kind of
respect it.
like
And
some kind like he's not looking to run down the field. He's not looking, and that's gonna keep him healthy longer too, right?
yeah,
Like he's not running down the field, and these guys are getting a chance to put a big hit on him, right? So I think it's good to be optimistic this year. I think it's really good to be optimistic this year. I think the learning curve for him is gonna be right on par, right? Because he's got the right people around him. He's got the I want to say better leaders trying to show him the way, And Ben Johnson is definitely going to be that offensive minded coach that he needs. Like Sean Payton was for Bo Nix, like the Commanders coach was for Jaden Daniels.
hmm yeah. I would really love for him to, hit the ground running, have a very explosive start. I would really love that. And we're talking a lot, and these guys are singing Caleb's praises or what it not, but let's not make this a total Caleb love fest, because he does have some improvement to do. Like, I don't want anybody to feel like, oh, we're treating him like, Messiah, whatever, well, like he's perfect. Like he didn't have any
Flaws,
any
right?
stake any stake in how the Bears season went, because he played like a rookie. But he did have struggles. He started, like I say, he started out. Listen, he started out crazy slow. It was crazy to the point people were honestly asking, was he the right guy? It was an incredibly slow start, and you know, as we found out later, we found out why it was. It wasn't just his ability, but he did hold the ball too long. The offensive line did have struggles, but those things went hand to hand. He was under immense pressure. He took a lot of sacks. He took a ton of sacks, but a lot of those sacks were on him, and we have to say that. Because he did try to make these superhero plays, and I'm just thankful he didn't get hurt. When
That
he had,
that's the learning curve though, right? Like
yeah,
that's that college to the pros type situation, right? That's the and the like you said, the I feel like the pressure there is going to be less. It's going to be less this year because now he knows what speed this game is played at, and what's unacceptable. Like in college, yeah, you could dance around back there for a while and extend plays, and in college though, some 300-pound guy that you didn't know could run as fast as he could is going to come in and be right on top of you. And like you said, that offensive line, it did not hold together for and anytime we saw a tough defense, we got ate up. We got ate up. And you're right. Like some of it is on him, but let's just say like now year two, some of that pressure is less, right? Some of that some of those things that he had to learn are learned, and now we can move on to the next level of progression and see who he really is going to be, right? And again, you're right. A lot of things were on him, like that. Holding the ball is not good for anybody, and you did see it time and time again. Him dance around back there, hold on to the ball, and then the next thing we're taking a loss of yards,
yeah,
another
on
sack,
field
another
goal
sack.
range.
But I think this year is it's better, right? Because some of those things are in the past, and if he puts them behind him and he's ready to move forward, and you got different people leading the way,
Yeah,
he should definitely have a way better season. Outside of any injury or anything, like man, you
yeah,
should see that next step, that him take a big next step. I think with the people he's got behind him now.
yeah. And as I mentioned, it's important for him to have an explosive start to the season. Not saying game one throw for 400 yards, but just look just to have the look as if he belongs. You know what I mean? He's not as confused. And you mentioned the fact that the pressure is less. I don't want. I don't really agree with it. With that, I just think he's more prepared. So he's ready. He'll be prepared to face these pressures. And if you prepare, listen, like I was told coming up that preparation kills pressure. And I feel like he's very much prepared, especially more than he was last season.
Well, he's been in the fire, right? That's the way I'm looking at it. Is he's been in the fire, right? He's been under immense pressure as a rookie quarterback with a
Hmm.
weak offensive line, with bad play calling, with I mean, a team that's not really there to support him, and now you have this revamp, right?
Hmm.
And yeah, you could say that the pressure is still going to be there, and that he's going to still struggle at times, which is going to be rough, right, for him to still have that sophomore learning curve. This is his time to shine for year two. But I think I think we're going to see something different this year, and then we'll see a little bit more consistency, especially as far as coaching goes, and the right people getting them ready to play. Well, it looks like we might be having some technical difficulties, so we'll give D Nice a second to try to get everything straightened out. But oh, there he goes. You back on track, man? Can you hear me? Yeah. Well, looks like we're still having some technical difficulties. So let's just say that this year we see progression, right? And that's what you want to see from everybody who's coming into year two off that rookie season. That progression, right? The steps that are in the right direction. Um, Again, I mean, I can't stress this enough, man. A change at the head coaching position, a change at the offensive coordinator position. All these changes that look to be stuff that's going to lead us in the right direction, and that's going to help this young quarterback level up and be
Hmm.
a good quarterback, if not a great quarterback.
Yeah. Sorry I left you hanging, man. Had some technical difficulties. But yeah, man,
Yeah,
everything you
it's being a little bit funny today. I totally understand it.
yeah,
I had some
everything
issues too.
everything you're saying is spot on. And hey man, we just waiting to see it. We just waiting to see it because we can have all this talk about, what is, what ain't, who is, who ain't.
It's
But
all speculation right now. That's all it
all
can be.
speculation. It's all speculation. But based off what we've seen in the past, we can kind of piece some of these things together and say, could be because with the NFL analyst Jeff Tahita, he's like I said, he's predicting 4,500 yards. That's 1,000 yards more than he had last year, and he said 35 touchdowns. That's 15 more than he had last year. So, like I said, based off of the games when Caleb's had these extremely slow starts and the games ended poorly, and his numbers reflected that. Now, mind you, we did win in Tennessee. I mean, we won versus Tennessee, but the
That game
Texas,
was not because of great quarterback play, though. Let's be honest. That was it was almost like a gift, right? Like Tennessee just made all the wrong calls at the right times, and our players
right,
showed up, right? And that one was kind of a wash for Tennessee, right? I mean,
right,
they're still trying to figure out who they are, right? I mean,
yes,
they thought they had the guy. This year they have a new guy. So I mean, but even against other, like, man, I always just go back to that Patriots game, and I'm like, dude, here
Mhm.
goes a game that should have been an easy win, and we got our
Should have
butts
been,
handed to us, and
should have
and and
been.
I was just so disappointed in the team, man. And God, I'm trying to think of that game at the end of the year in the rain where there was just it was the most stagnant game I had ever watched. What was that low scoring game at the end of the game? Who did we play?
That was New England.
No,
That
no,
was
no.
New England.
There was one at the end of the year, like one of our last games
Seattle.
when the fans were
Yeah.
yelling "sell the team" and all that stuff. Man, I mean that
Yeah.
was probably the most stagnant football game I had ever watched. Right, there was no offensive production from both sides of the ball. I mean, from both teams, not both sides of the ball. Excuse me. From both teams, Seattle wasn't doing anything. We weren't doing anything.
Mm.
I'm sitting out there in the rain wishing
Woo.
I wasn't sitting out there in the rain because there was nothing to be excited about. And then
Oh,
we still dropped that game, right? A very
yeah.
winnable game. And when we drop it, right,
That was brutal.
it was rough to sit through. I'm not gonna lie.
Brutal.
I was cold and wet, and I was not a happy camper.
Yeah.
And then again, like you said, you've got all your fan base in the parking lot screaming for new leadership. It says a lot about the struggles of last year, right? A lot about the whole organization, not just
Yeah.
coaching, not just the team, just the organization as a whole,
Hmm.
not being
And
that great.
and it doesn't just speak to last year. It's just the historic struggles from an offensive standpoint. And as this game evolves, offense was the leading charge of the evolution of the NFL. Like nowadays, like fans, you look at other sports, fans dig the home run in the NBA, they dig the 3-pointer. It used to be slam dunk, but now it's the 3-pointer. Now in the NFL, fans crave for high powered passing offenses. You know, I don't care how we fix this offense. If we're going to run, 50 times a game and score 30 points a week, cool. If we're going to throw the ball a lot and score 36 points a week, I'm cool with that too. But this thing has to evolve. The Bears have been slow on their journey to the modern game because
Yeah, everything you're saying is right on par, right? Like, I mean,
yeah,
I noticed that number you're throwing out there. It's like 30, 30, 30, 30, and that's the NFL now. If you
yeah,
ain't scoring 30,
that's
you can't expect to win. And
this
then
is where we at.
the rules are set up that way, and we're protecting the quarterbacks more than ever. I mean, it's a throwing league now. Let's be honest. All the superstars in the NFL are wide receivers and quarterbacks. I mean, there's a few like big name running backs that's still out there, but everybody's favorite player is a Justin Jefferson or a Tyreek Hill or a big name wide receiver, and
Hmm.
that's what people want to see. They want to see those miraculous one-handed catches and big plays down the field. And the NFL is turning into like you said, an offensive thing. Like the offense is everything now. I mean, and the flip side to that coin though is those teams that show up at the end do have those defenses
Yeah,
that could stop some of that, right? I mean, but at the end of the day, do they stop it all? No, most of these teams, especially the teams that we got on our schedule, are high-powered offenses, and that's the new NFL. Is like you said, 4,000 yards or better if you're going to win, if you're
yeah,
going to be a winning team. Hell, you could throw 4,000 yards and still be a losing team, like Joe Burrow, right? Joe Burrow
yeah.
is the
Yes,
biggest is the
indeed.
biggest example of that. Like the Bengals went off as far as the offensive consistency, but their
Hmm.
defense was trash, right? So, but again, like man, that's the new NFL. That there's all these rules set up in favor of you know the roughing the passer and the hits for the wide receivers and snap down tackling has been eliminated. There's
Yeah,
all these things that move that ball forward and drive these points and scores way up there. So like you're saying, 30 points, 30 points. I'm on par with you. I totally agree with that because that's where we're at now in the NFL. If your team isn't scoring 30 points, you're not winning football games. You're just not.
yeah. And don't get me wrong, we all know that some weeks are going to be better than others, and sometimes the defense is going to have to come through and work a little overtime and give us a little more than the offense and vice versa. But we just want to see, we want to, like me personally, I would love to wake up every Sunday during the regular season and know that we're going to get in the end zone at least 3 times on offense.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have some kind of faith in that, right?
Yeah,
Some kind of belief in and that that's going to happen, and that's going to be the standard from now on. Is like we can count on this. This is how our team plays now, and they're going to be successful. They're gonna go downfield when they get the ball, right? And
hmm
we're going to have touchdowns and not. You know, what I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm down for field goals whenever we could get them, but man, touchdowns is how you win games. You
yeah,
got to put up them 30 points, like you said, and I'm gonna keep on saying it, like you said it, man. You got to score touchdowns. We got to get those numbers
absolutely.
up. We got to get those numbers up, man. With the schedule that we got, if we aren't scoring more than 20, 30 points a game, we aren't winning these games because we have a really tough schedule this year. And then that's another thing too, right? Like let's see, Caleb goes through this tough schedule, it's gonna be a tone setter for who he is in the future. And if he can go out there and compete with these high powered teams and keep this team, you know, at least in a one score games with these guys and take these
hmm
W's from these tough teams, man, that's gonna say a lot to who he is, right?
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely strengthen his, because Mr. Chihita also mentioned that he'll be one of the top candidates for MVP. And this with this, like you said, with the schedule, with what we think the schedule is going to be, and he performs well, this would definitely put him in the driver's seat. And that will go as a major plus to fans, to all the doubters, the haters, or whatever we like to call them. That we did pick the right guy,
Right.
and
And then
it's going,
instant
yeah,
superstar in this city.
and hopefully it changes the narrative, on Chicago and the quarterback position. Even though it's only one guy, sometimes that's all it takes. And I'm not, I've never bought into that. I just thought the Bears always picked the wrong guy.
I mean, that's turned out
That's
to
what I
be the
was
case
told.
over and over again, man. You got Uh, I mean, every time we take a quarterback, it just doesn't ever work out. Trubisky, uh, a Cade McNown, you know what I mean? Like every time we take a quarterback in the first round at a high pick, he never ends up being that guy. And the guy that got picked, like, and it looked like that was the case this year. The guy that got picked right after him or right before him, you know what I mean, ends up being that guy.
hmm
And we always end up having the guy that just wasn't the guy, right?
Because these guys ain't done nothing nowhere else. So, you know, hey man, if Chicago is a place to die, these guys should be flourishing somewhere else.
To be honest, I hope that I mean, just to goes to show my bias is like I hope that Justin Fields does good in this Jets team. I was a fan of Justin. I
hmm
didn't feel like he was the right guy, but man, I was all over the hype train. I was all aboard, and then to see him go out there last year and do well for Pittsburgh, and then Pittsburgh sit him down.
Wow.
Right, the Steelers sit him down, and he wins four out of six,
Yeah.
and then you sit him down.
I listen. I was. I was on. I was on the bandwagon early, but after year two, I couldn't see it. I've seen quarterbacks drafted in bad positions. I mean, bad situations, and still make something of it, as Caleb did. With us last year. With Justin, I just didn't see any progression of him as a passer. If he sees it, he can hit it. But his anticipation, you know,
He
was
held on to
bad.
the ball too long, and always he was more of that guy looking to make plays with his legs. And don't get me wrong, he was electrifying, and that's where some of some of my love for him because man, this kid made some phenomenal plays just running with that football. But at the same time, he was running for his life, right? Like
Yeah,
it wasn't really because he wanted it and this was the play. No, he was just trying to get the hell out of there and not die, right? Like let's
yeah,
just put it that way, right?
yeah,
And it's nice to see this younger kid who's not he doesn't want that situation, right? Caleb doesn't
yeah.
want that. He wants to make the plays with his arm, and then if he does have to do it with his legs, he's no slouch, right? He's not slow. He can make those plays with his legs if he has to. But
Absolutely.
let's hope we see the growth, right? Like man, like
Yeah,
we're inching closer and closer,
yeah,
and we're typical Bears fan mode right now. Like yeah, we won the off season, and here we
yeah,
are again. We're hyped up again, and we made all the right moves, and we've been here before though. You know, we're counting our chickens before the eggs hatch, etc. You know what I'm saying? We've been
hmm
here before, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm in. I'm in. Like count
yeah,
me in because I like it.
yeah.
To me, it feels different. It feels right. It feels like the right moves have happened, and I'm here for it.
And let's be honest, we have to get it right at some point, right? Especially since we're really taking time to really focus on, being successful in this particular position. So at some point, this thing has to come together. And why not now? You know, why not now? I'm not saying next year the Bears will be playing the Super Bowl. That would be fantastic, you know. But to get our quarterback in that MVP conversation, to the point where it kills off to well, the Bears should have took Jaden Daniels and all that. I really want to eliminate that narrative. You know, because I
Yeah,
listen as
it'd be
great
nice
as
to move on.
yeah, as great as Jaden Daniels played last year. I still felt like Caleb was the right guy for us. Because if Jaden Daniels had to go through what Caleb went through last year, he might not have made it through the entire season.
No, I think yeah, if he comes over here and he plays, he probably gets hurt for sure, especially with his play style and the way he was making plays with
Mhm.
his legs. And you know, uh, to their credit, to the Commanders' credit, though, they did set up the offense to work for him in that favor because I mean the kid was running for some good yards, man. But Ben, he wasn't making like huge plays with his arm. He was relying on those legs a lot, and
His
his rush
legs.
numbers show it, right? I mean, your quarterback's having like 90 rushing yards a game. Like that's phenomenal, but that's not what you consider consistent quarterback play, right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Shout out to Bishop watching this on X, man. What's good? What's good, brother? Bear down to you. I think people having a hard time viewing us tonight, man. I think that the fans and people in the chat got a slow start in watching us for some reason and saying that we wasn't on tonight, but we're definitely here and we've been here for almost 45 minutes.
Yeah, no, there was been a lot of technical difficulties today.
Yeah, it's a
The
little
system
crazy.
kept on crashing out, and obviously, me and you had struggled jumping in and out of the room and
Yeah.
having to reboot the room. So, and I'm sorry for all the fans but we're still here for you, right? We're still
Yeah,
here for you.
yeah. For you
And
guys watching wherever you watch it from, appreciate you guys coming on in here. Like and subscribe for you guys, checking us out. Got some things to say. Got something on your chest you want to get off? Hit the chat. Let us know how you feel. We love to hear it. Keep it respectful though. We big on that. But hey man, like you said, we're one step closer. We're looking forward to seeing what we have, not only in the quarterback, but in the rest of the team. Also, those guys on the sideline as well, because we get,
I mean,
listen,
it feels
every,
good to have people like Urlacher and
yeah,
big name media guys. This feels good, right? Like as Bears fans, it's got to feel good. It's not something you're used to. It's definitely not something you're used to. Somebody singing high praises for a quarterback on our team. So I'm excited and I look forward to see how this plays out. Right?
hey man, yeah, of course. Look, Green Bay sucks. Absolutely, Bishop, my man.
Definitely, man.
Yeah.
I think they're definitely going to see a drop off this year. I feel like they're trending in the wrong direction. Like I definitely looked at that team as like, oh man, it's gonna be hard to beat this Jordan Love kid. It's gonna be the same as what we're used to. We're gonna go and we're not. But man, let's face it. Like man, we played some good football against that team.
Mm-hmm.
We beat them at home, and we should have beat them at our home.
Yes,
And
indeed. The
I mean,
refs were the refs were not on their job, man.
yeah, man, that was an easy money field goal too that gets blocked, which almost never happens, right? So
That was a penalty, man. Ugh, I hate to think about it, but that was a penalty, man. They should have threw the flag. Those guys are stacked up like that. You can't do that anymore.
right, right, and they got good push, right, and then
Mhm.
I don't. That's still one a controversial thing. Period. Right. Like everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe in my mind too that it was a penalty because they got that all those guys lined up in those gaps.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but again, we're moving on, right? We're moving on from that. But we played good football against that team, and
I
I
think
feel
we
like that
played
team's
good
on a
football against
downtrend.
everyone. I think we played good football against everyone in the division. They were just they
Yeah,
were
we
just
were on Detroit's heels, right? We were on Detroit's heels,
yeah,
and they're like one of the most explosive teams, and they barely skated by us, right?
yeah.
So, and
They were just better constructed at the time.
Vikings too. Vikings
Yeah.
too. We were on their butt. We were on their butt, and again, they're going through a transition, right? I mean, they
Mm-hmm.
do have like the number two, if not number one, wide receiver in the game, but they're going to go through. I mean, let's face it, it's going to be McCarthy's rookie season, right?
Yep.
It's he was there. No, he wasn't there last year. He was hurt. He didn't
Yeah.
take a snap. He wasn't on the field. He wasn't in practice reps. This is going to be his rookie season, so there's going to be growing pains there for him too. So I think we're poised in a good position to be uh, atop of our division. You know,
Yeah.
we should be able to be a fierce competitor, and we see all these teams twice.
Now
That bodes well.
the only thing, I really feel when it comes down to us in this division, because I think the Bears, the Lions, and the Vikings, they have some things to figure out because they're all in different new situations. Now, the Packers, on the other hand, I think, before we play a game at all, I think they're in a better position than us because, they did lose Jair Alexander, but the continuity in the coaching staff and in the players is still there, you know. So they may have a leg up on us in that department, but still, if we make the proper improvements, we'll still be able to compete and kick their butt on the field.
I like it. I like it. I mean, I think we're in a better position than we ever been, and those are those are the most important games of the year. Let's be honest, right? Like,
Yeah,
man, you want to be loved in Chicago, you need to win those games.
you have to.
And we struggled. We struggled year in and year out against that team, especially when Aaron Rodgers was there. And oh man, I'm ready for that part of our lives to move on from that. Right? I'm
Yeah,
ready to
well,
be able to say we go over there and we take it to them every time.
we're gonna have to see that cat again. Hopefully, it'll be for the last time.
I
As
hope we
Pittsburgh.
retire him, right? Like, and then
Yeah,
let's go destroy him real quick. But yeah, we will. He is on the schedule, right? So
yeah.
hopefully
And
it's a revenge game for us.
Bishop asked, did the Packers lose a pass rusher? Yeah, they did. But what I was mainly speaking on is the continuity with the coaching staff. Because, guys, pass rusher, you can make attempt to replace them and they don't too much knock you off of your game, especially if he's not one of those elite guys that stays, the disruptors or the top five sack guys, stuff like that. But I'm just talking about from a coaching standpoint, and even with the quarterback and the offense, everything is, nothing's changed there. So that's what I was talking about, Bishop. But um, I just think, from that standpoint, Green Bay has a leg up on everybody in the division because everybody, like Minnesota, going through the quarterback change. That's huge. Detroit lost both coordinators. So
Right.
it's gonna be a little
They're going to be
different.
learning some new stuff, right? And there
Yeah,
might be a new system.
it's gonna be
I
some
mean,
new philosophy up through there. So but like I said, if everything goes right with Ben Johnson and Caleb, I think we still be able to compete on the field with them.
I thought we did good competing with them, like you said, man. We were right there. We were on their
You're
heels.
right there, man. Right
Oh,
there.
man, those are one score games that could have went either way. And again, Caleb, he showed good poise in those final minutes of these games, put his team in a
Hmm.
position to try to win, right? And
Definitely.
man, somebody else steps up, one or two plays go a different way, and those games are in the W column for us. And
Hmm.
hopefully this year they are in the W column for us, right? Because we're going to need them because we got a
Absolutely.
rough
Absolutely.
schedule.
And last year, I don't know if you remember last year. We all had that conversation of how great the schedule looked for us. How quote unquote easy the schedule was, and when we ran down, the wins and losses, picking wins and losses, we had the Bears win. Most of us had the Bears winning over 10, 11 games. You know,
It looked
and
like it should have been that way, right? I
it
mean,
looked like
it definitely should have. And let's be honest, until that Commanders game, it looked like that was going to be our season, right? Like we were going to
it
pull that off, and then after that Commanders game, we just seen the nosedive, the complete just tank. Like the team just didn't ever recover from what I would like to consider trauma, the trauma game, right?
did.
Like, come on,
Yeah.
we
And
had that PTSD. The
with
confidence
that
was gone.
alone, man, and not to cut you off, I'm sorry, Eric, but
No, you're good.
with that alone is the reason why I stressed earlier that it's imperative that the Bears and Caleb especially gets off to
A bad
explosive
start.
start this
Yeah.
season. You know, um, and we do play Washington again, so maybe when we beat them this time, it could create a reverse effect, and we can carry that momentum all the way through the playoffs, and you know, play for that jury. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think after a little reflection of what you just said, like that's probably a great point you're making, right? Like, man, you get off to that hot start, that good start, and it builds confidence, right? And confidence is everything, right? We need these guys to be confident in order for them to be successful. And if they do get off to a really good start and they start to get that confidence back that they lost last year, because let's face it, that's what happened, right? After that
Yeah,
Washington game, that confidence was gone. It was gone. And if they do get off to an explosive start and they're firing on all cylinders, you know, and with the leadership that we have, if we do hit a bump in the road, they could correct that course, and getting off to that hot start, like you're saying,
yeah,
that could
man.
be huge for them. It could be huge for them because it's going to build the momentum and the confidence that these guys need to be successful, especially with the rough road that we have ahead of us, right?
Yeah, people underestimate momentum, man. Mo gets disrespected a lot, but it's very pivotal, when you're playing this game, because everyone that plays and that's out there on the field is talented. You know, these coaches, they work all week to devise plays to stop your guy, to come up with situations that give them a competitive advantage.
Yeah, they're
And
scheming.
yeah, and let's listen, it doesn't matter how great you prepare. If you allow a team to gain momentum and gain a little bit extra confidence, it just gives an edge like you would not believe. And the craziest things happen. And they happen just as crazy in the reverse as well. When you lose momentum, man, it gets ugly and it gets very wicked out there, man.
I mean, we've seen that in a lot of games last year where momentum was shifting left and right, right?
Yeah,
Uh, like you said, man, one or two plays in a game could shift that momentum. Like a big play from a defensive guy gets that offensive fired up, and then that
yeah,
offense makes a big play or makes a nice play, and they put seven on the board, and then things get rolling in. But then you have a turnover or something, and that momentum it swings back the other way, and it's a lot. It says a lot, like you said. Momentum is a lot. It's a big factor in wins and losses. It
very
is
much
huge,
so.
right?
Very
It's
much so.
definitely something that like at any point in the game could shift either way.
Hmm. Very much so, man. Very much so. But hey, man, listen, another great conversation, another great thought-provoking topic that we got here, and I want to give some shout-outs to the guys, to the fam, the Chicago Sports Podcast family. Shout out to you guys. Peace to you guys. I hope everyone's cooling out, safe, checking out,
Well, look like we're
and
having
I
a little bit
hope
of technical
everything
difficulties, right?
is all right with you guys. To the people watching. I hope you guys are having a great evening. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Appreciate you wherever you're checking us out at. If you like and subscribe, please do. If you hadn't already, if you have, thank you. We really appreciate it here at the Chicago Sports Podcast. And that's it for me. How about you, Eric?
Oh, I'm good, man. We could save a little bit of ammo for next week, right? Because man, I never get tired of talking about this football team. I love it. And like you said, I really appreciate all the support that we get from everybody out there. And let's hope that we're out here doing it again for a long time here coming.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I heard you. I heard you. We're
Yeah.
good. We're good.
Yeah. You got any shout outs? You got anybody you wanna shout out to or anything?
Shout out to Highland Pop Warner,
Right
right?
on.
Because it's Pee Wee football time, right? Pop Warner football time.
Yes,
They're
indeed.
doing training camps, and soon they'll be in full practice mode, right?
Yeah,
And that's the reason why I got here a little bit late with the camera and stuff like that. Because, man, I like youth sports. I'm going to be honest. Youth sports is how these guys end up, in this league. They all start small, they all
yeah,
start young, and youth sports is the gateway to everything, right? To college football, to professional football, to every sport, And yeah, I just want to give a shout out to the Pop Warner teams out there in period, all the ones in Northwest Indiana and then Chicagoland. So
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Shout out to every Pop Warner team everywhere. These guys do such great work on the field as players. When they get to the higher levels, we almost forget that they started out as little kids. You know what I mean? And
yeah, no facts.
I want to give a special shout out to every coach and mentor to these young players, these young guys growing up. To the coaches giving these kids someone to look up to, someone to admire. Because some of these guys don't come from homes where they have a male presence. As a coach, you are that. You know what I mean? So give a shout out to all you coaches, all you guys. It's a tough job, but someone has to do it. And I appreciate every one of you guys all across the world who have the patience to be able to work with these kids and, you know, be honest and forthright with your duties when it comes down to mentoring these children. It's a very great thing and it's something unique because everyone can't do it, bro. Everyone doesn't have the patience to do that. So I want to give a tremendous shout out to every coach in America, wherever you're coaching and whoever you're coaching. That's a very it's a very extreme job, and to have the love of the game makes it easier, but you know, having patience with these kids, it's listen, man.
Yeah, and I
I,
just want to co-sign that because you're speaking it out like it's the truth, right? A lot of these guys are volunteering. A lot of
yeah.
these guys that go out, they work their 9 to 5,
Hmm.
and then they go back out with their kids or kids that maybe not. I mean, there's coaches that don't have no kids in the game. They just love the game.
Love the game. Yeah.
And man, I appreciate them too. I appreciate them too,
Yeah.
man. I definitely do.
And you know, to the ones that's highly successful, to the ones that's not so successful, to the ones that's on the come up or in the middle or whatever. Listen, I shout out to all you guys, and that goes for teachers too, because coaches are teachers. That is the teacher of sport, you know. But you know, it's a very tremendous effort, and I've coached before. It's a very humbling experience as well. So, you know, I understand, you know, the struggles of a lot of these guys out here. Like you said, they're coming from working 8, 10, 12 hours to come out here on this field, you know, to put up with someone else's kids. You know what I mean? You know,
Yeah,
it's
definitely know
listen,
what you
man,
mean. Definitely know what you mean.
listen, and a lot of them ain't getting paid a whole lot of money to do it either. You know, they're just doing it strictly off the love of the game, and I love that. You know, and
Yeah, yeah.
and you have twos and fews that do it, you know, and
Man, everything like you said is right on par though. Like, man, a lot of times I've been doing it for a couple years now, and I love it. And
mhm,
my football family is literally that they've become
yeah,
family, right? Like, man, these kids, you learn to like them, and if not, in some cases, you know what I mean. They become family too, like they're extended
mhm,
family, right? So, like you said, you never know where what situation they're coming from or whatever, and they get a chance to go out there and get relieve stress, get some exercise, and do something positive with their life when maybe some
yeah,
things in their life is not that positive. And I love that this game presents an opportunity for that, and I love that Pop Warner presents that opportunity also.
absolutely, man. It gives them kids something to strive for, man. And you know, for guys to sit up there and you know be proud of where they're able to take, because everybody's not going to be a pro. You know what I mean? But if a kid can come back to me after he's graduated college, high school, found himself a career, a job, or just, he wants to get in coaching himself, I won. Because this kid has become a success story. You know, he ain't got himself in trouble. He ain't got himself in some situation that he can't get out of. He's thriving. He's shooting for better. You know what I mean? And a lot of it is a test to the struggles on the football field, the struggles, the achievement. You learn a lot about life playing these sports, and you coaches are able to guide these kids through this thing, man. It's a tremendous feat, man. I have tremendous respect for all the guys that do it on a consistent basis.
Well, D nice man, it's been fun. I loved hanging out with you again as usual, man. I like that. We're kind of on a roll here, huh?
Yeah, yes indeed, yes indeed. We started off a little slow, it was a little hit and miss, but hey, man, listen, perseverance is a real thing, and I think we had it tonight.
Yeah, the technical difficulties we just pushed through, right?
Yeah,
Head
yeah.
up, keep moving forward.
Peace up, bear down.
Well, yes, sir. Good night.
Good night.